Hi there and Happy New Year. I am back. I hope that you guys had a splendid set of holidays and that you enjoyed your family and that you have goals and resolutions. I know that it's cliche, but I believe in them and I encourage them. And in light of that, one of these days I'll do a recap of 2019 and we'll talk about a lot of things. And I'll do a series because, I've been working on my life and stuff and, finding optimal health as far as, weight, fitness, spirituality, everything else. And I feel like it's worth talking, right? So one of the things that I oftentimes struggled with, that I feel large in sense of presence. So once I've come past, weight and that sort of challenge, I've always still maintained this large feeling, which is kind of interesting. So in turn, that's something that's always played a part as far as picking a partner is concerned and what kind of level of challenge that would be for finding somebody that's good for me. Because I always was like, oh, your girl a lot of work, or, I'm a headache, or I'm difficult. And I would outline myself in that fashion. And with me doing that, I wanted to change the narrative about myself. And in turn, I will change the perception of myself, which is very important. And I feel like this is something that a lot of us young women need to do in order to have just healthy and functional relationships, as well as existence on an individual level. When picking a partner, right? One of the oldest stories and, most known story is the story of Adam and Eve. And what this story outlines is that Adam was on the earth by himself and that he was lonely while he was with animals and everything else. And that Eve, the woman, was drawn from the rib. Great story, right? So I always wondered how this is applicable just to real life. Now, most people have this relationship with the Bible that it is fact as a hard fact, as it is applied directly in space and time, as it is from then to today. And my relationship with the Bible, my understanding of the Bible is that it is both literal and metaphorical and figurative. So this idea that the woman comes from the rib, I feel like that is more an understanding of what the psychological or social role of the woman is in respects to partnership or spousal relationships in existence. And I hope I'm not losing people because I'm going to jump in. So the rib and coming from the rib, it seems almost insignificant in one sense because people are always trying to figure out where does that position the woman alongside the man. And I don't think that it's a part of positioning him alongside of the man, but what his and her purpose is as a union. So when they say that she comes from the rib, the idea of her coming from the rib supports this notion that what does the rib gonna happen? All right, she ain't just come from the rib. She came from a pain in my ass. But so damn kid. So back to the rib. So it's not just about her position alongside the man, but what the actual role of the rib is. Now think about the function of the ribs and how important they are. The rib is responsible for safeguarding the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the lungs. Encompassed in our ribs is our entire life. It's our entire existence. This is the most important part of the functional or physical man and woman. So the woman coming from the rib is not about positioning alongside the man. It's about what she is internally to that man. So for me, understanding that I'm larger than life. Like oftentimes it's like, oh, I feel a little bit out of place. Like, oh, you're too vibrant, or you're too present, or you're too demanding, or you're too this, or you're too that. And what I had to recognize is that it's not about me in the physical sense. It's about me in the functional sense. You see, I had to look at it and say, the sort of person that I want, the sort of demands that I have to make it a point to be every single ounce of what that person requires, which means that the size of me is indicative of the beast that I must support. So in turn, he gotta be a big man because I'm a large rib. Does that make sense? It's going to be this level of understanding anatomy in a both literal and figurative sense. If I am such a large and more vibrant than life kind of person, well, then guess what? That means you're going to have a very savage like person that is your partner. And you two will support each other and you will have each other's back, because my role, my purpose as the rib is to support his heart and protect and safeguard his heart primarily. He got to trust me to do that. And having that internal function, supporting the heart. Think about the heart and how we describe it. What it means on the spiritual, emotional, and physical level is that literally, physically, if somebody takes out your heart, you don't have nothing left. If somebody breaks your heart, you don't have nothing emotionally. If somebody destroys your heart, you don't have anything spiritually. You don't have anything left mentally. So my responsibility as the rib is to support him in all those aspects, within all those dynamics, and to assure that he is safe. Now, the best part about being a rib is that you always get embraced like this, that you are always up underneath that man's wing. And this is what they say that your responsibility is to protect as a man. And of course, if you assume the role, that's your business. I'm not here to take nothing away from you. But the role is for you to embrace her, protect her, safeguard her. Because if you don't protect her, there's no way you're going to be safe. If you don't pick that woman properly, there's no way for you to be safe. That your heart, your emotions, your spirit is completely at jeopardy based on the fact that she is a rib that does not fit your anatomy. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? We can't take a squirrel's rib and put it on a dog. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You can't take the rib of a hawk and put it on a baby chick. It's probably not ideal, because every person and every set of anatomy, every spirit, every emotional being is something completely different. So in turn, we have to find where we fit, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I feel like one of the most important things to do is understanding who you are, identifying yourself as a rib, acknowledging yourself as a rib, and what you can contribute to anybody. So emotionally, spiritually, mentally, if you're all over the place, there's no way that you can safeguard somebody else's. There's no way that you can be an ideal partner for somebody else, and in turn, he can't be that for you. And if he accepts you as fractured, please understand that he probably got a broken arm and can't keep you safe. He can't protect himself because he can't even identify himself to tell you that you're a good fit, nor can you identify who you are to tell him that you're a good fit. And that's fine. Get to know yourself before you obligate somebody else to safeguarding your heart, or giving you a role, or validating your happiness or your ego. We were having a conversation one day, and one of the things that we talked about is how men pick partners versus how women pick partners. I said the difference with women and men and how they pick partners, I said more often than not, women will pick with hope and validation. So whatever insecurity she's walking with, she's going to pick with those insecurities in mind, not to improve them, but to hold somebody responsible for making sure that she doesn't experience it. That doesn't make sense. Because if you can't control your insecurities, why on earth would you give somebody else the responsibility to take care of it for you? It's a recipe for disaster, is it not? I said, as opposed to a man, men pick partners. Men very oftentimes, it's not to say that you don't have your exception few that's like, oh, nah, I'm gonna fuck with her because she got the big booty and she got this and she got that. I'm not saying that at all. But more often than not, when they choose a partner, when they have the option to choose their partner, they pick their partners with a sense of, where's she gonna take me? Even when we get to talking about broke niggas, bum niggas, all that other shit, like when we have those conversations, the broke nigga's not finding another broke bitch to chill with. Yeah, he gonna have a broke bitch that he gonna fuck with to make him feel good about himself, but he gonna find a chick that got something that he could enjoy, that he could live with, that he can be uplifted with. And we get mad at them because he's like, oh, you using me, this, that, and the other. I was like, but if you don't identify yourself, there's no way that you could have identified somebody that was in predator mode. That was like, oh yeah, nah, I need that. I'm gonna take that from you. And you can't be mad at him because he's surviving. If he figured out how to survive, and you don't know how to preserve, baby, It's a recipe for disaster. So that's why I say it's so important for you to know yourself, what you are and what you have to offer. Yeah, I'm a lot of work because I'm intended for somebody that can hold a very large rib. And that's okay. I'm not going to apologize about who I am and what I want, because that's who I am and what I want. Because if somebody can say, oh, I want her because she got XYZ, why can't we say it back? And oftentimes, instead, it's like, well, he makes me feel like, he should validate you. He should tell you you're beautiful. He should support you. He should be your backbone. He should be something outrageously strong, and he should be the thing that embraces you. But and however, baby, you have a responsibility to protect the heart. And if you don't know how to safeguard yours, then you cannot fulfill your role as a partner for that man. And I feel like that's such an important thing for us to come to grips with and understand. So I say all that to say, yeah, boo, I'm a big rib. I'm a big rib. And I feel like if you are a woman and you are a small rib, there is nothing wrong with that. You do not have to apologize, because your experience has brought you to the place of the size rib that you are. But what you can do and what you should do is you should acknowledge exactly who you are and find somebody that fits. If you are docile, if you are timid, if you are soft-spoken, baby, don't go and find somebody that you feel like is way out your league and gonna make you feel like you're a superstar. Because if you don't believe you're a superstar, all he's gonna do is make you feel more insecure. He's gonna highlight what already exists within you, not bring something out of you that wasn't there. Because if you're not looking for it, he can't find it either. Don't make him responsible for it. It's too risky. It's too risky. Every once in a blue moon, you hear these beautiful love stories about this person that came around and all they wanted to do was be an inspiration and a lighting of their life. But you know what? It's entirely too many broken souls walking around here for you to have that obligation on somebody that they're going to take care of you when you can't take care of yourself. And it's just the reality. So I say all that to say that it 100% start with you. Validate yourself. Get your own confidence. Confirm what size rib you are. And find the beast that fits that rib. Because then at that point, I think you'll be a little bit happier. So, I think that's enough. The next thing we're going to do, I want to do a series. I want to do a 2019 recap. I had this crazy idea. It wasn't crazy. It was actually a really good idea. In the beginning of the year, I outlined my resolutions. Everything that I wanted to see come to pass, I wrote it out on a piece of paper. And every 3 months, I would confirm where I stood with those resolutions. And in all fairness, I can say that each and everything that I wanted to see come to pass has been initiated to some extent or another. And while it may not have necessarily met a complete or fulfilled goal in one or two aspects, it definitely has been started. And in turn, I am outrageously proud of myself. So I feel like that is going to be the next thing that I do. And we're going to talk about, those uncomfortable phases, those challenges, those ups and downs, those very imperfect things. Because again, the reason that I'm here is so that we can talk about the road and not highlight or glorify the end result. Because the journey is where the lessons and the depth and the magic is at. And that's what we're not talking about these days. And I want to talk about it. So I'm going to head out. And I want to thank everyone for taking a moment to sit down with me, tuning into my videos, subscribing. You know what? I'm going to tell you before I head out of here that it really does mean the world. And while I'm not as consistent as I would like to be, every single time that people tune in and they view and they share and they highlight and they comment and they text me and they encourage me and they ask me, yo, when you won't put up your next one? You don't even understand what that means. And I just want to say that is just such a gracious and beautiful thing to be a part of. And I can't thank y'all enough. I'm not going to cry. I promise. I'll make them kind of cute today. So once again, I'm going to get back into it and I'm going to give you guys some good content. I promise. I'm going to compress my my journeys, and I'm going to give like quick vids and different things like that. I'm going to try to get my content streaming a little bit better, and hopefully we can make some magic. So thank you so much again. I hope you all take care. And I think that I'm going to put links and questions and different things. I want y'all to start to engage me a little bit more, because I am not the wisest of them all, even though I'm working on it. Okay, so it's been real. Thank you.